Hello, here is a full body slider workout. In this workout, I'll be using some sliders. So sliders, you don't have to buy the actual sliders. I have the actual ones because it's sort of plastic for the carpet. I find they're nice to slide along carpet. But you can also use paper plates if you've got carpet. If you've got tiles or wooden floors or some sort of slippery surface, you can use towels, you can use scarves, you can use like some quite fluffy socks, anything that will help you slide along the floor with ease. You will see on carpet it's slightly trickier because they tend to catch. So if yours catch too, don't worry, we can just readjust, grab them and carry on sliding. You'll probably see me catch them a few times throughout this workout, but that's all good. So the format of the workout, we'll be doing 3 circuits. Each circuit has 3 moves. The first one, lower body focused. Second one, a bit more full body focused. Third one, a bit more core full body focused. We'll be working for 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. For the first 2, we'll be repeating them 4 times because we're doing unilateral work, so working one side and then the other. So we do twice on one side, then we'll go twice to the other side and repeat the same thing for the second round. Third round, we're doing 3 times through because we're not doing any unilateral work. That's it. We'll have a rest in between circuits and we'll warm up, we'll cool down. So let's start with a warm up. We're starting nice and tall. Just gonna start with some good morning hinges. So think of sending the hips back and up. Really driving the hips back, waking up the backs of the legs, hinging back. Really send the hips back. Really think of karate chopping at the crease of the hip. Good, let's go for one more. Back and up. We just add a little squat to that. So we're going to hinge, we're going to squat down and then stand up. So I'm hinging, squatting, standing. So just following like that, waking up the legs. So with these slider workouts, they are quite intense because essentially you're keeping tension on those legs the whole time. So bear with it, try to get through that 40 seconds. No doubt you'll hear me complaining about the burn too. Let's go for one more. Hinge, down, up. We're just gonna roll. We're just gonna all the way down into like a sumo squat. So heels in, toes out. We're just gonna rock from side to side. So wake up the hips, wake up the ankles. My voice is very croaky, but I'm determined to get this workout out for you guys. And then we're going to put the hands on the floor, just going to straighten through the legs and then bend again. So hands don't have to come to the floor, you can have the hands on the thighs. If you're not reaching the floor, no problem. Let's go for one more. Down. And then let's roll up through the spine, one bone at a time. So just going to wake up the arms here, just nice big circles with the arms in one direction. We're going to go both directions, so if you're going backwards, no worries. Soft bend in the knees, coming forwards and then coming back. I really like these slider workouts because I always forget how spicy they get. So let's prepare for a little slow and steady, sort of like an endurance strength workout. Let's go for one more. Really nice release through the shoulders. We're just going to bring the arms into, we're going to come down into like a little hinge position. Just going to fly the arms over, just to wake up the shoulder blades and the back a bit, because we're going to be doing some stuff in like a plank position. Couple more flies through the body and then come back up to standing. Just come to the bottom of your mat. You can see I have a little mat today. So we're going to be planting one foot on at a time and we're going to roll through the spine all the way down to the mat, walk the hands out to a plank, step right foot on the outside of the right hand. Just going to rotate up through the spine. So it's a really nice stretch to wake up the spine, the core, the hips. They call it world's greatest stretch. Not sure if this is my favourite stretch, but I think I like pigeon. But who doesn't like to stretch their hips? One more. Open, down. We're going to switch out the legs So then go left leg up, send that right heel back, and then find that nice rotation. You can always drop the right knee or the left knee if your legs are particularly tight. So if you're finding it hard to get a nice wide stance, just pop the back knee down, and that will really give you a little bit more room to rotate. Let's go for one more. Rotating, plant that palm. You're going to send the hips up into a down dog, just pedal through the heels. And then you're going to, keeping the legs as straight as you can, walk the hands up to the feet. And then you're going to roll up through the spine, one bone at a time. We're just going to do a few more roll downs. So you're going to roll down through the spine, walk out to that plank. Bring the hips nice and high. And we'll walk back up to standing. Let's do one more. Rolling down, bone by bone, walking out to that plank, and then send the hips nice and high, and walking back up. It's going to roll up, nice and tall. And just jog on the spot, get the heart rate going a little bit, warming up the body a bit more. Already really warm. You have to get out over the window. Do some nice star jumps. If you want to modify, you can step, step, step. So if you want a low impact option, this is really good. Or if your toes just hurt when you do a star jump, sometimes toe mobility really comes into play, like if you find lunges particularly hard. Good, couple more there for 5, 4, 3, 2, back to jogging. This is, it's like the highest intensity part of the workout right here in terms of impact, just FYI. Jogging on the spot, one more round of star jumps. Just keep jumping, nice and light on the feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Right, let's get into our first circuit. You will see that I've turned my mat to face this way. Obviously, if you've got enough space to slide, please keep your mat where it is, but we're going to be sliding. We'll start with one leg on, doesn't matter which, you can mirror me, on the mat, the other leg off. And we're just using one slider. And the first exercise, we're just going to do a lateral slide. So we're going in 3, 2, 1. So standing up nice and tall, nice and light on that foot. You're going to slide out to the side like in a nice lateral lunge and coming back up. So sliding down, send the hips back, coming back up. I'll show you from the side, from the slide. You slide in back, hips go back, and then you come up to the top. I'm going to stay facing you just because I've got for the space, and up. So really focusing on being slow and steady, getting nice and low and as light as you can on the slider. Got 5 more seconds, so you slide back, up. Let's fit one more in, and up. I'm just going to put the sound on the timer, just so we can hear it. So we're just going to keep the same foot planted, but we're going to turn it at a 90-degree angle and keep the other foot facing forward. So you've got a little bit of external rotation, and it's like a warrior 2. We're going to slide here. So we're sliding, opening out, and coming up. So just adding a little bit more tension into that inner thigh as you slide out and come back up. So you're thinking of keeping light on that leg, particularly as you slide that foot up. Really stay rooted in that standing leg. And you've got one foot there, sort of at a T. So I'm sliding out and bringing that leg back in. Almost there. Let's go for one. Oh, let's not go for one more. For now, we're going to square off the hips facing forwards. And then we're going to do a reverse lunge. We'll slide it round, bring it back and come back up. That's the move. So nice and light on the foot for this one. Let's go. Reverse back, hold. Gonna draw a little semicircle with that back foot, and then you come back up to standing. So you reverse down, hold. So a bit of more core engagement as you slide, finding that balance. and up. So you see I'm hinging the hips back, holding all that weight's in that front leg, whilst I swivel that leg round and come back up. We've got about 10 more seconds here. Reverse, cause in, swivel, swivel, stand. Reverse, swivel, fall over. Okay, right, those are the moves. We're going to repeat them on that side, and then we're going to move on to the other side. So the warrior pose, you're literally turning that front foot to the side and keeping the other foot forward. So it's just a little bit of a little different focus for that foot. But first we're going to start both feet facing forward. Let's go. Let's hinge down and up. So you can inhale to come down. You can exhale to come up through that slide. Light on that foot, particularly if you're on carpet. It sort of forces you to be even lighter, because if I apply too much pressure on that moving leg, it's just gonna stop. So go down, up, and it's a nice idea to hoover beforehand, because you then don't see all the bits that come up through the floor. I did hoover beforehand. Let's finish that one off if you're there. And we're just gonna rotate that front foot. So think of rotating the hip rather than just turning the foot, because you want to feel that opening through the hip as you come down in that slide. Okay, we're gonna go in 3 seconds, so I keep moving, just preparing, gearing up. And here we go. So transferring that weight, sliding out, and coming back. This one is quite tricky to keep that rotation in that front leg whilst keeping that front foot facing forward. And let yourself be challenged. See how low you can go. And use the strength of this front leg to get you up. Good. 5 more seconds. Finishing off. And rest. Woo. So we're going round. Pick shoulders back. We're going that reverse lunge with a little swipe of the leg. So you've got 10 seconds to rest. Catch your breath, set yourself up. Going in 3, 2, 1. Transfer that weight. Send the leg back, hinging forward. Hold, sweep, sweep, and up. So these moves are really a lot about control. So really think, if you find yourself wobbling loads, maybe reduce your range of motion of your lunge, or dial up your core a little bit. So think of pulling, drawing in, adding a little bit more tone in the lower abs to come up. To come up, but to maintain your position, if you know what I mean. So it really helps stabilize. Almost there. Can we fit one more in? Let's try. Down. And up. Okay, we're going straight to the other side. I am going to move my mat just so I don't have to turn around. Obviously, you don't have to do that, because I just want to make sure I'm facing you at all times. You can just turn around and move your screen or whatever else. Right, we're going to start 2, 1 with that lateral lunge on the other side. So whenever we do unilateral work, often we think, oh my gosh, so weak on the other side. But it's so important to train one side at a time, because we are all in balance, right? So it's really nice to identify those things, but also we know we're working. I know my right leg is a lot more off balance than my left. So it's just nice to know that I'm working that one without sort of using my left leg to help keep the balance. Okay, one more. Slide out and up. Okay, we've got in for that. Sorry, it's bugging me, it's not straight. There we go. I'm going to turn that right foot out, turn it from the hip, keep that foot planted, other foot's facing forward. So we're at sort of little T junction. Ooh, finding my balance. Going in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. So you slide down and ooh, up. Harder on this side. Sometimes it's harder just to get into the groove. Push through that standing leg. It's a little warrior. It's like Warrior 2 in yoga. Was that Warrior 2? No, Warrior. Yeah, Warrior 2, Warrior 2. Good. Let's go down. Hinge, hinge, hinge. Shh. Drive through that standing leg. See what I mean about the endurance? Because it's so slow and steady. You have to linger 5 more seconds in that position where it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall, but yeah, we made it, we made it. Okay, we're gonna turn that foot round. I'm gonna reverse the lunge and go for that swipe. I'm just gonna move the timer so I can see it. Got 10 seconds. We'll have a minute to rest in between. So again in 5, to set up, hips nice and parallel, and off we go. So reverse into that lunge, hold it, swipe, swipe, stand, slide back, nice and controlled. Pause in, we slide, we stand. So really try to keep the weight, it forces us to keep the weight on that front leg as we slide the leg back round the body to the other side and up. Time for one more, I think. Slide, slide, finish it off, and we're going to reset back to the start. One more time through on these moves on this leg, minute to rest, and then we'll move on to more leg stuff. Woo. Okay, so setting up, straight lateral. It's a little side sliding squat, and off we go. Slide down and up. So I'm inhaling to go down, exhaling, engaging that core, coming up. Just helps synchronize the breath with where you need to be more stable, basically. And it helps, you know, bring a bit of flow to the movement. We slide down and up. And if at any point the sliding is too much, you can just do these without sliding. Just give me some lateral lunges. One more, slide, stand, and turn that foot. So you really want to turn the foot from the hip. Other foot's facing forwards. 10 seconds to rest. Take your rest. Let the breath come down. We're going in 3, 2, transfer the weight onto that stand, that other leg, and let's go. We slide, and we come up. We slide, and we come up. So I need to readjust, get a bit more weight on this leg to help me slide, and stand. Sliding. Good. You can have your hands however you like, I just like them in front. It helps keep my body nice and stable, she says, whilst wobbling everywhere. Okay, keep going. Almost there, got 5 more seconds. Maybe fit one more in. Final few. Amazing. I'm gonna grab a sip of water whilst we wait. We've got 10 seconds. So with that reverse slide, swipe, swipe, come back up. So let's set up, transfer the weight, going in 2, 1, and let's go back. Hold, slide, light on the slider, and up. It's a sign if I'm putting too much pressure on that slider because it just does not want to move. Up, good. So you hinge back, send the hips back. Back's nice and straight. Keep those shoulders back. Chest is nice and high. It's easy to round over, but really think of length through the body as you slide. Let your head travel down with your body. So try not to keep looking up. Little tuck of the chin. Woo! Done. Round 1 done. Okay, we've got a minute to rest. Sipping water. I'm going to transfer the weight, my mat, back to the other side. I'm going to start with a curtsey. So similar to that swipe we did. I'll show you from the front. A curtsey, we're going to come round and up. So as far round as you can, coming up. What foot did I have on? Had my right foot on the mat, the left foot on the mat. Okay, so that's our first lunge, is a little curtsey lunge. And we're going into sort of burpee variation. And I'll talk you through it. It's more like a single leg deadlift. We're going to slide down to the ground, and a little bear plank. So you need 2 sliders for this one. So have your other one handy. Okay, so here we go. Transfer the weight. We're going to curtsey lunge. So you're coming down at a diagonal. Lost my slider. When sliders collide, my other slider's totally booby trapping me. I'm going to slide down and up. So I'm bringing that leg around the body, so it's like a little curtsy. Up. Sliding round. Let the knee of the sliding leg come nice and low to the ground. You want to feel a stretch in the opposite outer glute. 5 more seconds, let's go for 1 more. And up. Okay, so the next move, you're going to keep the slider on the same leg. You'll come into a little balance. You'll hinge down, plant the palms onto the mat, slide out into a plank, tuck back up and come back to standing. So we might not fit loads of reps in this one, but just think slow and steady wins the race, right? Okay, so we bring the knee up, we hinge the hips back, plant the palms. You're going to slide that right leg out. You're going to bring it back. Oh, see what I mean? Come back to standing nice and slowly. Back up into your balance. So you hinge back, plant the palms, slide out, bring it back. Really slow and steady come up to standing, back into your balance. Loads of concentration. I think we've got time for 1 more. Slide back. Gently transfer that weight. Woo! Standing. So that's the burpee one. So both your sliders, we're going to be in a plank, going to be in a bear position, and we're going to go leg out, out into a plank, in, back into a bear. So it's almost like a little bear mountain climber. Okay, so we're going to go in 2, 1. So hold those knees under hips, wrists on the shoulders, slide back into a plank, bring it back into your bear. Out, trying to keep the upper body nice and still. So think slow and controlled. Slow and controlled. Pushing the floor away with the hands. 10 more seconds. Out, out, in, 5 more seconds, that is. Just going at your own pace. Knees down. We're going to start that from the top. So 1 more time through on this side. So I'm going to move the slider out of the way because it definitely got me all curtsied out on the first round. So slider on. Let's do it. We're going to curtsy. Feel that stretch. Come back up. So when you curtsy, you really want to get that leg at a nice angle away from the body. So rather than coming straight back, you're going almost to like sort of a, I don't know, 90-degree angle. Maybe more, I don't know. Going to the side. So test it out. See how far around you can bring it. And if these aren't working for your knees, just give me that reverse lunge again. Or give me the swipe. That might work. Down. Let's go for 1 more. And standing. Okay, we've got that burpee next. So you can see I only fit 3 in. And you're just thinking of going nice and slow. Don't worry about the speed on this one. If you go quick, you're going to lose that balance and lose that stability. So we're going from a knee balance, hinging down, sliding out and coming back. So here we go. Balancing, hinging down. Hands down nice and light on this leg. Otherwise it won't come back, as you saw with me the first round. And then you plant that foot down and it's almost like a little single leg squat. So I'm asking a lot here. We're hinging, we're sliding back, we're sliding in, and we're coming back up with control. I think probably got time for 1 more. 1 more on this leg, coming back, plant that foot, Come, whoop, whoop, whoop. Come up to standing and hinge. Time's up. Time's up. Okay, going down to the floor. Have a little sip of water. Okay, we got that bear. So put the feet on, the toes on the sliders, and off we go. Nice and slow, slow and steady. Just adjust my leggings and hovering, going out and in. I'm alternating the leg I bring out. Don't worry if you're not. I'm just something to take the mind off. You're trying to keep those legs hovering and you bring them in line where they were. So you're drawing a straight line with that slider. Almost there. Good. 3, 2, 1, and let's go to the other side. I'm just going to adjust my mat. Bring it over. Have my sliders ready. Make sure I got space. Okay, starting with that curtsey. Right foot on. Off we go. So curtsying down and round and up. So going around the body, really letting that back leg get nice and close to the ground and swiveling round. So I'm coming back to square hips at the top and then you slide it round and down. So it's almost adding in the reverse lunge and the swipe we did in that first round. Keeping the back straight, rewinding myself, keep the shoulders back. Almost there. And rest. Okay, we've got that burpee sort of thing on this side. I'm thinking, am I doing the wrong, am I using the wrong foot to slide? No, I'm not. Okay, I'm using the right foot to slide. Okay, ready? Let's do it. So we come up to a knee balance, we come hinge back, plant the palms, slide back into a plank, come back, plant that foot, and then slowly come back up to standing. So hinge, send that leg back, come back through, and just try this one, see where you're at. You can be you're practicing the hinge, you can be practicing sliding one leg back and in, because this one is challenging, and I want you to just think slow and controlled throughout this movement. And woo, rest. Should have finished off really, shouldn't I? Let's do the bears. Okay, little sneaky, we're doing the bears 4 times through. It's a really nice full body situation. Did set with lower body, full body. So let's go again in 5 seconds. To set yourself up, make sure those wrists are underneath your shoulders. Hover those knees. And you slide out, out, in. Slow and steady. You're trying to do it whilst keeping your spine still. So thinking core, nice and tight. As you perform the movement and pushing the floor away. 10 more seconds. Final 5. And rest. 1 more time through, and then we're going to our core / full body final round. Okay, let's move that to the side. 1 foot on, and I won't have to keep doubting myself that I've done the wrong leg. I haven't done the wrong leg. Let's curtsy. Go slide down, ooh, and up. Re-establish everything. So I think lock those shoulder blades back and down, just so you feel a nice opening through the chest and you're not feeling hunched over. Really getting low, get that other knee nice and low, so maybe tap it to the ground. If not, no worries. Just going for feeling a nice stretch in that other outer glute as you slide down. So the working leg is that planted leg. Let's keep going. 1 more. and up, and rest. Resting there, okay. Got about 10 seconds. Last time for these little burpee situations. So not quite your traditional jumpy burpee, but very much a similar concept. So going in 3, 2, 1, let's hinge. Hinge, 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 bring the hands down, sliding back, sliding in. Find that balance and come up to standing. Hinge. Send the hands down, slide that leg back. Slide it back in with control. Plant that foot and come up to standing, keeping that foot balanced if you can. No worries if you can't, you can always pop that foot down. 10 more seconds. Out. Sliding back. And coming up to standing. Nice and controlled. Ooh. And rest. I didn't fall over though. That's a first. Okay, so those slow and steady ones, if you can imagine you're trying to go fast, it's just going to be a bit shambolic. So we always want to go slow and steady. And this is strength, so we're slow and steady. Okay, setting up for the bear. Off we go. Out, out, last time for these. Out, out. And if sometimes wrists get really tired, so you can always use some padding, or you can always come up onto your fist, because that takes the pressure off the wrist a bit here as well. I like to go on my fist quite a lot, because it really takes its toll being on the wrists. 10 more seconds. In, in. Keep going, you got it, you got it. 2, 1, and rest. Sip of water, look at the sweat coming down my brow. I'm gonna move my mat this way, because for some reason I prefer to face this way when I do my workouts rather than facing. It's probably just a better view, isn't it? So our first move, we're gonna need both the siders. We're going into our sort of upper body, full body situation. And you can always do these on your forearms if you like. So we're going to go from high plank, the first move, and then you're going to bend the elbows in a one line towards the body, backwards. Do a little commando, so up, up. I'm going to drag the body forwards. Just a reminder, we're doing these 3 times 3, not 4 times 3. So let's start in a high plank at the front of our mat. Send the elbows back, so we're sliding the body backwards. You then push up, then you walk forward back to your starting position. So you're sliding down into like a little sort of cobra, up, sliding back nice and slow, and trying to land fairly gently, and up. See which one of these are the killer moves today. About 5 seconds, and rest. Let's come off the wrist a second. Next move, we're going to forearm plank. Then we're going to slide the hips up into a pike. And we're going to slide back into a plank. So these are nice and challenging. You can always either just hold the forearm plank or hold the pike. So let's do it. We're in our forearm plank. We're going to push the hips up into a pike. I'm going to slowly lower down. So it's a nice little upper body. And you're really drawing the core in. And you're going for control over speed here. 10 more seconds. Drive the hips up. Sliding back into your plank. And 3 seconds. And let's bring the knees down. We're going to roll over. We're going to do some hamstring curls in a bridge. We're going to have heels on. We're going to come up into a bridge. We're going to slide one leg out. We're going to slide the other leg out. We're going to bring the timer closer. Going in 3, 2, 1. So we're going to come up into a bridge. Make sure you're nice and supported. Going to slide one leg out. Then you're going to bring it back. Slide the other leg out and bring it back. And you're trying to keep nice and steady through the hips. So you can inhale to slide out, exhale to bring it back. So take control. Try not to come too high in the chest. So you shouldn't feel like you're really pushing through the spine. It should feel nice and even and like a straight line as you do your slides. These are so good for the, down. They're so good for the hamstrings, so good for the core and the back. We're gonna do that twice through. 2 more times through and then we're done. So we're starting with that high plank into that little, so I'm bringing my elbows down like that, like the cobra. So we're going in 3. Let's do it. Gonna slide back, keep it nice and straight. Arms up. Powering up. Walking forwards. So little steps. Sliding down. I feel like the landing part is like something, I'm like some sort of ship. Landing's like, anyway, ignore me. That's how I'm getting through. Coming up. You can always bring the feet wider if you want a bit more of a base, of stability. 3 more seconds. Woo! Rest, come off the wrists. Give the wrists a little circle. We're doing that forearm to pike next. I told you sliding was spicy. So this is such good upper body work. So we're going in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you're going to slide up. Bring the hips up, head comes through. And then you slide back down. Only going as far as you can. We're just thinking of drawing the core in and up. And thinking of that control. There, we got about 15 seconds left. Move it 1 more, 2 more, got 10 seconds. Last one, pulling up into bike and down. This bridge is a nice one to mobilise that spine after all those plank movements. I must say, this is almost as if I planned it that way. Whew. Just lie on our backs, get ready. I want you to bridge up from now. Think of tilting the pelvis forwards a little bit and then sliding out and bringing it back. Trying to keep the other side of the body nice and still. Keep the shoulder blades rooted. I've lost my slider, there it is, to the ground. And sliding back. Sliding out in a straight line, bringing it back. So that straight line like you did with the bears, you're thinking of the same thing. So just shooting it out in line with the hip, bringing it back only as far as you can, keeping the pelvis nice and level. So you try not to rock too much here. Keep going, finishing that one off, and down. 1 more round through, 3 more minutes, or 40 times 3 of work. Last time for those little commando situations. We're going in 5 seconds. So setting up, feet on those sliders, into that high plank, and off we go. Oop. So you're sliding back with control. Coming up, walking forwards. Try to keep the upper body nice and steady. So try not to let the hips dip. Forwards. Really focus. It's our last final bit. Last final bit. We're almost there. 10 more seconds. And slide. Ooh. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Come off the wrists. Wrists are done. No more wrist work. Going into those forearm pikes. Planks to pikes. Got 10 seconds. So really just thinking slow and steady, bring the hips up. Slow and steady, return them back. Okay, 2, 1, let's do it. So into your pike, and then bring the hips up, and then draw them back down. So this is like prep if you want to do like handstands and things. This is a nice one to practice. Or if you just want a really spicy slider workout. And down. 15 seconds. Keep going, keep going. Almost there. Woo! I'm gonna fit one more in. Yeah! And rest. Oh, I told you I'd be dying. Told you I'd be dying. It's just that, it's that constant tension makes a bodyweight workout so much more effective and spicy. It just adds in, if you want to amp up. So into our bridge, let's do it. Make sure you're nice and supported. So think of slight squeeze through those glutes. It's going to help keep you up. And I really want you to not think of pushing too far with the chest. If you feel your belly's really doming out, you've come up too high. Dial it back a bit. So you want to just be on your the tips of your shoulder blades really, not coming up any higher than that. Keep that core engaged as you slide. Control it when the final sort of 6 seconds. Shh. Let's go, maybe both legs at once. Woo! And rest. We made it. Made it to the end. Breathe. Gonna remove the timer. I'm gonna move the sliders. I'm gonna turn my mat and let us stretch it out. So let's come down. We'll stretch. Let's stretch on our backs today. You're gonna lie on your back. Hug the knees into the chest for a second. You can roll the knees into circles. So you're gonna nice stretch in those hips and releasing the hips. And you're gonna plant the foot down. Or any foot, I've got my left foot down. I'm gonna stretch the right foot up to the sky. So hold anywhere along that leg for a nice hamstring stretch. You can either have the left foot on the floor, or you can slide it out into straightening along the floor if you like. If your legs are particularly tight, having your foot on just gives you a bit more room. You're gonna bend that foot and come into a nice figure 4 stretch. Breathing into the hip. Lots of hip stuff with this work. The lateral sliding really gets the outer glutes and those stability muscles. Makes really nice work for those guys. I'm going to switch, just keep the left leg, right leg down, hamstring stretch. Keep the shoulders down, the head's nice and relaxed. Just find some easy breathing. My leg is shaking. My leg is shaking. It's like, oh, what have you done to me? Good, you're going to release that foot, bring it round into that figure 4 stretch. Think left ankle above right knee, driving the left knee away whilst pulling that right knee towards you. So think of pushing the right knee towards you with your foot, that helps. Relax the shoulders. Then you release, just put both feet on the ground, feet as wide as the mat, and just let them drop to one side. Stretch through the back and the spine, and then switching sides. Little windscreen? Yeah, windscreen wiper legs. Just go one more each time to each side. Maybe looking over in the opposite direction. Really nice. We're going to roll over to our side and come up to a seated position. We're going to come onto all fours. I'm just going to stretch the arms up, knees nice and wide into nice puppy dog. No, down. What's this? Child's pose. There we go. Child's pose. Forgot what it was called. And then walk the hands to one side, so you stretch them. Stretch the other side of the body. Walking the hands to the opposite side. Stretching that side of the body. Just going to come back round, going to interlace the hands behind the head, let the arms come up and over. You can bring the knees together here so you get a bit more release in the lower back. Stretching out through the shoulders. And then slowly roll up through the spine. We're just going to come up to standing. You can come up to a down dog if you like, or you can just come up to standing, however you prefer. So I'm going to walk the hands up to the feet if we're in down dog and roll up through the spine like we did at the beginning. And then just going to come forward, take opposite foot, a nice quad stretch. You can hold on to something here. Wow, I've got very, very pink all of a sudden. Just saw my reflection. And then we're going to do the other leg. So stay nice open through the chest here. I'm going to switch. Thinking knee back, hip forward. Couple breaths, soft bend in that standing leg. Releasing back. We're going to take the hands forward. Just stretching the back. Hands up. Nice little back bend. Release the hands down and you are done. That was full body slider workout. Absolutely smashed it.